Competitor, the UDA candidate in the Olkalau by-election has been posted. I think it's the Nairobi Rivers Commission. What do you make of these changes?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, those changes will amount to nothing. One, that former policeman has been picked to try to deal with the crisis that faces the country on goonism and the role the police have played in killing Kenyans, burning their property and making their lives impossible. So nobody can believe him because that's the wrong person first. The image of the police is already dented. So bringing a former police officer in itself is self-defeatist. Number two, the image of this government is irreparably damaged. There's nothing the president can do. Even if he brings ward speed master, insecurity, goonism, destruction of the education system, the failure of SHA, pending bills, stored projects, fake promises. With an year to the general election, even if he brings ward speed master, the people of Kenya have already decided that the president is a failure, he's a liar, he's deceptive, and there's too much corruption. And that is why I've said, he said he's a fundi. We are engineers. We all said himself, you know, if a fundi is not working well, the engineers would say this food is useless and give him some other work to do. Number three, those changes can change nothing, okay? The problem is William Ruto. Again, even that new spokesman, what will he talk about? William Ruto comments on everything, himself every day. That's why you find even Isaac Maura, I'm the one who proposed him to that job. He was jobless because there is no opportunity for even government spokesman to say anything on behalf of government. The president himself comments on every topic, every day, yeah? So that even the government spokesman is careful because you might contradict him. Even when you are preparing a statement in the office, he is out there and says something exactly opposite of what had been agreed on. So the change is cosmetic. That guy called Mushina was given Nairobi River Commission. It's unfortunate. I wish he gives him something else. The Nairobi River Commission is a vehicle for William Ruto to persecute the people of Nairobi from the mountain community. That Nairobi River Commission was in my office when I was deputy president. And he did instruct me, we started demolishing people's houses and businesses, and I refused because when we were looking for votes, we gave a promise that we will never demolish people's homes, we will never relocate people without alternative settlement. And when he asked me to supervise demolition of houses within Nairobi River Basin, I said no. If you remember, among the charges that was brought against me in the National Assembly was insubordination, that I refused to participate in the demolition of buildings along the Nairobi River Basin. So this guy from Olkalau, he's just being set up against his people. You know, go and demolish houses belonging to your community so that people can hate him even more. This guy called Mushina was not rejected because he's a bad guy, by the way. Those 5,000 votes he got are people he impacted in one way or another. He's a likable character. And he was rejected because of association. One, giving him a job after he has lost the job is actually spiting the people of Olkalau. What you rejected is what I want. To start with, doesn't matter. It's good for him to get a job because he has a family and he needs to go on with life. I don't have a problem with him getting a job, but I have a problem where he's been deployed. William Ruto is using the works going around the Nairobi River Basin to displace communities, to destroy businesses, to make people homeless, and it's actually targeted at the people from the Mount Kenya region, I can tell you. And that is why I had a problem with it. So it doesn't matter what changes William Ruto makes between now and the next election. He is the problem. All these other changes are inconsequential. It doesn't matter, he can remove this one, put this one, remove this one, put this one. He is the issue. The people have a problem with him as a person. his style of management, his appetite for public resources, theft of public resources, and the brutal nature of dealing with human beings in terms of killings, extrajudicial killings, and using police goons to kill people. That is where the problem is. So it doesn't matter who he puts in office, he removes this one, as long as he's there, people have a problem.
So, regarding Gachagua, at the end of the day, the president repeats time and time again that development track record will speak for itself. We've seen a litany of development projects, including in Mount Kenya region, where you speak so passionately about the resurgence of this Mombasa roads that had actually stalled for quite some time. Don't you think leaders will be judged by what they've delivered rather than voting based on emotions?
Well, to start with, Olakalau is a classic example. Those development things means nothing because the intention is not honest. Number two, there is no development that is going on. Mombasa Road stuck after Uhuru Kenyatta left, there is nothing. Nothing is going on. A few things here and there. Even like now, the road they had started in Olkalau near Ngorika. After the election, the equipment left. And it's that way. Even the transformers in Olkalau were brought from Bere. They had been put in Bere, they were removed and brought in Bere. It is true the president will be judged by his record. It's true. He will be judged his record. Killing Gen Zs, he'll be judged. Abductions, he'll be judged. Goonism, he'll be judged. Sending rogue police officers to kill people, he'll be judged. Destroying free primary education bequeathed to this country by Mwai Kibaki, he'll be judged. Destroying Leader Mama bequeathed to this country by Uhuru Kenyatta, he'll be judged. The issue of SHA that is not working after destroying a good program of NHIF, he'll be judged. HELB was working, university financing. Even now he's trying to con students that he has directed the big given free education. When there is no mechanism, the budget has already been passed, my brother. There is no financial provision in the budget. It's just another lie. And you know, this man lies without blinking. And he doesn't know that you lie to people today. Tomorrow they call you out. When you say there will be free primary education, the budget for his last budget has already been approved by the National Assembly. There is no provision for free university education. It's a lie. He'll be judged on the lies he has given to the people of Kenya. He'll be judged on deception. He'll be judged on conning Kenyans when they can see. He'll be judged on tribalism. He has given all the major parastatals to his kinsmen. He'll be judged on grabbing land. So when he says that people should be judged by their record, it is true. We agree. We'll be giving the people of Kenya his record. Very long record about what he has done against the people of Kenya. How he found institutions that were working, they are all destroyed. How he has undermined the National Police Service. How he has replaced police with the goons. How he has undermined the democratic space. How he killed young people whose crime was only saying they should be heard. How he said people should be shot in the leg. Okay. His activities that he needs to be judged on is a long list.
So, Gachagua, there's no good that this administration has
Nothing.
done. Aren't you looking at the glass half empty?
He was bequeathed a safe country by Uhuru Kenyatta. It had economic challenges, yes, but there was no goonism. People are free to do what they want. This was a country that was safe. Police were protecting people. Police were not attacking people. Alcohol, illicit brews. You know, they are killing people. This is something that I had successfully done. I had wiped out almost 80% of illicit alcohol. Okay. He has brought it back. His record is long, and it's true. I agree with you. Leaders will be judged by their public record. We will be giving a list of all the things that you have done, and then the people of Kenya can judge.
Speaking of leaders being judged by their public record, you made some public sentiments not too long ago in respect to foreign or international tourists, and you gave them a caution in terms of coming to Kenya due to this Goonism issue. Your message was loud and clear. We've seen Canada perhaps give a travel disclaimer for their nationals who are set to come to Kenya, but your words seem to have irked a couple of leaders, especially those from the coastal region, I'd like us to listen to them in just but a few, because they seem to hint that your statement borders on economic sabotage. Let's listen in.
When you touch our uchumi, we will touch you personally. Yes. Because we can't employ the hundreds of thousands or millions of the young people that work in the coastal line, wakifutwa kazi. Or you have now seen the biggest standalone investment is earmarked for Lamu.
The tourism sector is a whole ecosystem. Within tourism, you get a taxi. Within tourism, you inspire property investors. And therefore, if somebody is urging the international community not to visit Kenya, and this is somebody who wants to lead Kenya, then we now know that he cannot be able to lead this country. We want to condemn his remarks in the strongest terms possible.
The major sources of income for this particular region and for the country in general to be denied, and that is an element of tourism, is a very, very saddening. You know, when you come up with issues that are so hatred in nature, that by killing the economy of this region.
Nichukue fursa hii kwa niaba ya wenzangu magavana, viongozi hao wote kulani matamshi ya jana ya kiongozi wa DCP. Yeye anakataza watalii wakuje Kenya na anakataza uchumi ama wawekezaji kuja Kenya. Ukisema watalii wasije Kenya, wanaathiri pwani. Kwale, Taita, Mombasa, Kilifi, Tana River, Lamu, tunategemea utalii. Alafu anataka kuzunguka hii pwani, wewe tafuta biashara nyingine, kwa sababu sisi kama viongozi hataruhusu. Sisi tunategemea utalii.
All right, the leaders have spoken. Right of reply. Why are you pushing for economic sabotage?
Four things. I've heard one of those characters there talking about young people and how their livelihood is being threatened. Yet, everybody knows he has destroyed young people in the coast region by selling hard drugs and making sure that young people are zombies. For the longest, everybody knows the role he has played as a drug baron, and he sits in cabinet. It's a shame. Number two, tourism is not just in the coast. It is everywhere. My family owns tourist hotels. I can never do anything to hurt business. I'm a very patriotic Kenyan. But I'm also a truthful and a cautious leader. I don't know how old you are. In the 80s, there was a girl called Julia Ward. Julia Ward was a British tourist, and she was killed in the Masai Mara, and she disappeared, and her body was found dismembered. It destroyed our tourism for 10 years. All tourists across the world, all the international media, all the big dailies, the international papers, put the name of Kenya as a place that is dangerous for tourists to come. It took us 10 years to get back our tourism. I want to be president next year. Tourism is extremely important to this country. It's actually number 2 foreign exchange earner. We need a hard currency. Tourism must be protected because it's very, very important. Today, the goons in Nairobi, the goons on Narok Road, the goons in Mombasa, if they killed 2-3 tourists, it will kill tourism for the next 20 years. We will never recover. I am a leader who believes we would rather go slow for a year and protect our tourism. And if the way things are going on in this country, where goons have been let loose by government, they are all over. If Kenyans are not safe, how safe are the tourists? If Kenyans are not safe, how safe are the investors? The other day here in Carnival, there was a workshop of some Chinese investors. Goons descended upon them, took away their phones, took away their money, took away their jewelry, and they were in shock. I'm just exercising caution. Ordinarily, if there were goons, I would have urged the government to stop them, not to cure tourism. But since it's a government that has unleashed the goons against the people of Kenya, I cannot appeal to the same government to stop goonism. All I can do is to caution potential victims of goonism that would have a very serious repercussion to our tourism and our investment. So I am a leader who is being very cautious, saying, hey, there are goons all over. They are wreaking havoc. I've just told you what happened in Thika Road. In Outer Ring, every Friday, the goons line up along the road and steal valuable from Kenyans for 3 hours, and police cannot touch them because they work together. So if they come and accost tourists on their way to the airport, and this matter is reported to the countries of origin, to the international press, and the world decides that Kenya is not safe, yeah, what happens? Canada issued a travel advisory on 13th. I spoke on 19th because they were saying what I'm saying. It's not me. Canada has not spoken after I've spoken. Canada has issued a travel advisory to Canadians to say Kenya is not safe, which is what I'm saying. And these travel advisories will come because all these people, they live here. They have looked at the newspaper. If you looked at the clip on NTV on the attack in Olkalau, these foreigners are saying it's not that they live in a vacuum. What I am saying today is what they will be saying tomorrow. So by me issuing such a strong statement, ordinarily, if President William Ruto had any intention of stabilizing this country to normalcy, because it's not a normal country anymore, we are almost going to Haiti way. He would listen to my statement and know there's danger. I am a patriotic Kenyan, I love my country. I've told you I'm in the tourism industry myself. I cannot hurt business that I practice, but I'm cautious that if a tourist is attacked by these goons, if an investor is attacked, it could destroy our tourism for 20 years. I would rather we have a challenge for 1 year. We get rid of this administration. The first thing we do, we deal with the goons. We dismantle these goons. It will take almost 6 months. We also wind out rogue police officers. We'll have radical surgery of the National Police Service. And by the way, let me put our police officers on notice. We have started very serious documentation. All those people who attacked us in Wetima, we have their record and what they did. When William Ruto is gone home, they'll have their day in court. All those people who attacked people in Olkalau, those who killed those people we are going to bury tomorrow, they'll have their day in court. All commanders, station commanders, and division commanders who allow goons to attack people and they don't take any action, we are documenting. So that, you know, the good thing is criminal acts have no time limit. Even 5 years, 10 years, you'll have your day in court. I want to put on notice rogue officers. And they are just like 5%. I can tell you 95% of officers in the National Police Service are very professional, they are very patriotic Kenyans, they are very disciplined, and they are doing the right thing, but they are being intimidated by Umukomen and Remo Domolo. But those rogue police officers who agree to be misused, those who killed those 2 young men in Olkalau, you will face murder charges. And you listen to the OCS of Central Police Station. Today, he's charged with murder in court. He took instructions from the DIG, but they were not written. I want to appeal to our police officers. I was a man in uniform. I want to give you free advice. If you ask by your superiors to break the law, refuse. If they insist, ask them to give you instruction in writing, either through a letter or a signal or a WhatsApp message, and you preserve it. I want to ask our police officers to agree to use 5 documents in the course of their duty. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Penal Code Cap 63, the Criminal Procedure Code Cap 75, the Evidence Act Cap 80, and of course the service standing orders that guide day-to-day police operations.
And where's the Independent Policing Oversight Authority?
Now that is the other issue.
In fact,
it's good you have raised that issue. The Independent Police Oversight Authority is supposed to investigate police excesses. We have been attacked several times. We have gone to them, no action. In fact, this one of Central Police Station is the only issue they have taken seriously, and we want to commend them. But Murkomen had connived with the head of public service, Felix Koskei, and actually put IPOA under the Ministry of Interior to supervise how do you get an independent body that is supposed to oversight the police and put it under Interior.
But that move was annulled by the courts.
Yeah, yes. But you can see how mischievous Murkomen is, because he knows he's misusing the National Police Service. And the officers are saying, no, we are unable to carry out some of these covert operations against the law, against the people of Kenya, because we have IPOA, it can take us to court. Then Murkomen says, no, don't worry. That IPOA, I'll bring it under my control. And I want to thank our courts for saying no. IPOA is an independent constitutional commission that must operate independently and oversight the National Police Service. So this Murkomen is a very mischievous character.
So how will you
He's one of the greatest mistakes that has ever happened in this country.
How will you strengthen this IPOA? Because independent is just
no,
there.
Even now, even the people in that IPOA, some of them, like the vice chairman, is very close to William Ruto. She's from Kitale. She's called Wanjiku. They are very close. So he cannot be independent. He picked his friends to be in the IPOA. So what we'll do, my brother Rogers, next year, God being gracious and giving us an opportunity to form the next government through the acceptance of the people of Kenya, we intend to strengthen constitutional commissions and independent offices and really allow those offices to function. The IG is supposed to be independent. The minister should only comment on matter policy. Murkomen is commenting on all matters including operation. That is not his work. He is supposed to make sure they have proper funding. He is supposed to make sure they have developed the right policies in terms of training, in terms of mechanization of equipment, in terms of relating with other agencies. That is his role. But Murkomen every day is commenting on police operation. Who should be arrested? Who has been arrested? I don't know who did what, or can you bring evidence? That is not the work of CS Interior. The National Police Service is supposed to be an independent office to operate independently. IPOA is an independent constitutional office. We would want, when we form government next year, that's how Mwai Kibaki succeeded. I really admire President Mwai Kibaki. He let everybody be. He let ministers work. He let PSs work. He allowed independent bodies to work. He did not capture parliament. He did not capture the judiciary. He did not capture oversight bodies. He allowed and that is how we achieved very serious economic development. That is how we achieved, growth, economic growth. That is how there was money in circulation in the country.
Okay.
I would want, God being gracious to me and my colleagues, once we form government next year, we would like to take this country back, at least to where Mwai Kibaki left us. Yeah.
I was waiting to hear about issues to do with understaffing, underfunding, because IPOA is really struggling with it. But let's see if, or rather...
they cannot attract funding without working. If they did several cases and people can see they are really oversighting the police, then they can advance a case for funding. Why would anybody want to put money into IPOA? There's nothing they are doing. When our leaders, Senator John Methwa and others were attacked in Kigumo, when I was away in the United States, and they even went to IPOA, they took the vehicles showing the bullet holes, they actually took the cartridges, they took the names of the people who attacked them. It's now 1 year. Nothing has ever been heard about it. It's a toothless body. It's of no use to anybody. To make matter worse, to give the officers comfort, to unleash terror on the people of Kenya, that nobody is oversighting them. That is why Kipchumba Murkomen had secretly connived with the Felix Koskei and taken it to Interior. I'm happy the courts have reversed that position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a blue code of silence. So much to talk about that. But let's shift focus back to politics, because I'd like your take on the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki. You have been verbally attacking him, holding no buzz, pulling no punches. I think you even referred to him as Mr. Yes Sir, Mr. Soprano, all that. But just recently, we heard you on this week, Monday, if I'm not wrong, ordering for political ceasefire against Professor Kithure Kindiki. We have two sentiments, both from you, before when political heat was stand up, and on Monday, as I've said. So we just want to compare the two and why the change of heart. Let's listen in.
Unajua huyu Kasongo anatubeba ufala kule kwao, anapeleka empowerment, vijana wanapewa matatu, si ndio? Wengine wanapewa bodaboda, wengine wanapewa posho mill, wengine wanapewa power sol. Hapa kwetu anapatia mtu ya soprano alete maharagwe. Ni ujinga si ujinga? Ni ujinga si ujinga? Wewe mtu ya soprano hapana tumiwa na Kasongo vibaya.
Nimepata habari vile walikuwa wananikosea heshima hao wa Kalenjin. Wameanza kumtesa huyu Kindiki hapo. Kumkosea heshima. So we professor, you are our son. I want to tell you because you are our son. Ukipata shida hapo mbele, because utapata. Welcome back home.
All right, two questions, I think, from those two clips. Number one, you've ordered a ceasefire from your foot soldiers to stop attacking Deputy President Kithure Kindiki. Is he no longer Mr. Yes, sir? Why the change of heart?
He is still Mr. Yes, sir. He has not changed. He is still a flower girl. And but that does not change the fact that he's our son. I say two things. One, I noted that when he was interior, despite being Ruto's flower girl, he never sent goons and police to fight his kinsmen, the way Murkomen is doing. I noted that, at least, even as his Mr. Sir, he didn't agree to be used by Ruto to fight his own kinsmen. Of course, when I talked that, people said, no, but he killed Gen Zs, which is true. But I said, in matters goonism, he didn't do what Murkomen is doing. Number two, the previous day, he issued a statement to say that the mountain is...
Just hold. So the fact that Gen Zs were killed under his reign is okay.
No, I'm
just that he didn't send
okay.
to kill his kinsmen?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying people reminded me that much as he did not say goons, you know, we were discussing goonism. I said, Murkomen has rained terror on this region, and give credit to Kindiki, at least during his time, he did not send goons here to attack people. Then the people told me, but he killed Gen Z. I said, yeah. Then I said, there's a statement he has said that I agree with him. I have been opposed to William Ruto dividing the mountain. He has been using him and Roko to divide Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West. So the statement he issued the previous day, he seemed to have changed his mind that it is not good to divide the mountain. And I said, what you have done is good. You have started making peace with your people. And I think why he has started making peace with his people is because Ruto has started fighting him. If you listen today, Ruto has released his attack dogs on him. There's a fellow called GK Karaoke, is MP for Dia. He has been promised to be running mate. He has started attacking him. Njuguna Kawanjiko was attacking him today. So I say, in our community, normally what happens, because much as I'm a Kenyan leader, I come from somewhere. And I'm a traditionalist also. I really value our customs and traditions. In our community, when one of us is being attacked by outsiders, we normally put our differences aside and defend one another. That's what we do. Yeah. So when we found he's under attack, and I have information they have started disrespecting him the way they were disrespecting me, I wouldn't want even him, much as he even snatched my position that I had been given by the people through an election. People are paid to remove me and give him, much as he is a beneficiary of an injustice. Yeah, I would never want him to go through what I went through, because it's very dehumanizing. The way the people around William Ruto were treating me as deputy president, being very disrespectful, abusing me, calling me all manner of names, that has started being done to him. So I said, Professor, if you find the challenges ahead away, and you'll find them because I am private to what is going on, They are setting him up. He will not last. He will not be running it, I can tell you. So I told him, now that you have started making peace with your people, by saying the right thing, our strength in the mountain is our unity. Our prosperity is hinged on our unity. So once you have started saying the mountain should not be divided, you have started making peace with your community, which is good, so that in case you get into a serious challenge, as I believe you will, when you come back home, you have made fences with your people. It was in that context. Not that I have respect for his inability to say no to bad things, but he wouldn't say, because he is an employee of William Ruto. He was not elected by anybody. You know, the 2010 constitution provided the deputy president to be elected by the people, so that he has muscle, political muscle, to say no, to say yes. I would say no to William Ruto. He can't say no to William Ruto. He is his employee. He gave him his job. So he is helpless, because if somebody gives you a job, today you are employed by the Standard. If they tell you to come here, you cannot say you go to Machakos. You just come here.
So tell me this, has your camp been in contact with the deputy president? Are there chances of you working with the deputy president? What are the demands on the table?
I don't know. There are no demands. He is with William Ruto.
Okay.
We are against William Ruto, and we want William Ruto to leave office. All I'm saying is, let him stay with William Ruto. But we have decided to direct our missiles and our energy on William Ruto, because he is the president. He is a problem of this country. Kindiki is just an employee. You know, today I have some people who work for me here. If I make wrong decisions here, they cannot take responsibility because they are in this house. Okay? All I am saying, I have given him an assurance that if he gets into difficulties, as I am certain he will, I've told him, please feel free to come back home. We are your people. You are our son. You may have been a bad person. You may have been misused by William Ruto. You killed Gen Zs. You did all sorts of things. You have humiliated our people by giving them beans. You have humiliated our people by giving them handouts. You have been involved in bribery and all bad things that should not happen. But at the end of it all, if you get into problems, please know you are home. It was in that context.
So your two camps in contact?
We are not in contact. I sent a common friend to tell him, be careful.
Okay, fair enough. So, you know, politics at times is about optics. When people see that video of you taking a soft spot towards the deputy president,
he's a kinsman.
I know that, and you've mentioned it, but he's your political competitor, as you've mentioned.
But above all,
yes,
he's a kinsman.
Allow me to finish. So when it comes to political acceptance and legitimacy in parts of Mount Kenya, you may have eased his ride when it comes to 2027. When you say he's our kingsman, yet he was still your kingsman, calling him Mr. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's our kinsman, but he's not elected by anybody. He's not a leader in the mountain. Elected by leadership is given by the people. He's Ruto's employee. But even if he's an employee, he's still our kinsman. But he's an employee. As far as the political pecking order is concerned, he's nowhere in the mountain. He's just another of Ruto employees, just like a minister, like a PS, like anybody else. Ruto can dismiss him at will.
Are you trying to cut the image of a unifying regional kingpin?
No.
Okay.
I am a leader in that area because I was elected by the people. The people never removed him from office. It's a few fellows who are given money. The people still listen to me. That is why when I told them, don't go to the streets, they stayed at home. When I told them, wake up at 5 and vote by 11 and finish, they listened to me because I'm their leader. Because they elected me, I have authority of the people. I may not have an office, but I have legitimacy. I am the people's deputy president. They elected me through a vote. And they still recognize me as their leader. And they listen to me. And I'm asking those guys who are talking here, saying that I can influence tourists not to come here. They have been abusing me, saying I'm nobody in Kenya. I cannot even be a village elder. That's what they have been saying. How come this fellow you are saying he is nobody? He cannot even be the chairman of a cattle dip. How come you are now scared that he has influence? He can influence the international community. It's double speak. They have been saying, in fact, William Ruto, when he removed him from office, he was told by Akina Kimani Ichung'wah and Mwangi Kajori, this guy, after 2 weeks, you will never hear of him. 2 years down the line, I'm the discussion in the National Assembly. 2 years down the line, I'm being discussed in the Senate. 2 years down the line, I am being talked about by every cabinet secretary in Kenya. 2 years down the line, William Ruto is talking about me.
All right,
2 years down the line, everybody is talking about me. So?
All right. There's a section of UDA Mount Kenya politicians who said they're preparing a major political announcement and recalibration after the All-Kalau defeat. We have a brief bite. Let's hear from the horse's mouth, then we get into it.
With my colleagues who are here and others who are not here, governors, senators, members of parliament, and members of county assemblies from this region, we are going to make a major political decision, and we say God bless Kenya, God bless Nyandarua, and God bless all of us. Thank you very much.
That several UDA allied members of parliament, senior government officials from Mount Kenya region have reached out to you seeking reconciliation. I assume the same leaders you portrayed as willing participants of Mount Kenya persecution, political persecution, are the same leaders who've reached out to you. Who are these leaders? You're a truthful man. Can you name them?
These characters can make no major political announcement. They are dead on arrival. Their fate is sealed. Okay? They had hoped that William Ruto, with his money, with the chiefs, with elders, with the projects, he can help them get elected. When they left All-Kalau, they are scared a lot because William Ruto was there with 15 billion worth of projects, 1.2 billion in cash, chiefs, everybody, and the candidate was defeated, was shown dust. So they know William Ruto cannot give them the money he put in All-Kalau. So when they left, they were in Nakuru in a hotel. They are so scared. They don't know what to do. They have talked with William Ruto to help them create a political party, pretending it belongs to the opposition, but it's funded by William Ruto. It's what we are calling wheelbarrows of different colors. The minute these characters enter any party, the residents will conclude is a wheelbarrow of this color. Their fate is sealed. Even if they go independent, their fate is sealed. I would advise them, please, William Ruto finished you politically. He cheated you to betray your people. You became greedy, took his money, and betrayed your community. You passed the Finance Bill 2024 against the wishes of the people. You removed an elected deputy president from office against the wishes of the people. You have joined William Ruto in persecuting your people by arranging goods to go and kill your people and maim them. The people are through with you. What you can do, I've told them, because I know some of them. Please, make as much money as you can from this man and don't use it on politics. Even your salary and your allowances, don't spend any more money. Try to put money together so that next year after the elections, you can start some business. Yeah? That is, their fate is sealed. They are actually not an issue to anybody. That statement they were making is because William Ruto is not picking their phones. After they cheated him because they had given him false situation, he gave them too much money. They had 9,000 mobilizers who are being paid 1,000 shillings every day for 2 months. That is 9 million every day for 2 months. 9 million times 60 days. Yeah? It's 540 million. But the people who voted for the candidate were already 5,000. 4,000 people who used to be paid daily for 4 months. Yeah?
2 months or 4 months?
2 months,
yes,
2 months. They did not vote for this candidate. So William Ruto was mad. These people conned him. They also set him up against the people of Kenya. You saw what happened in Trans Nzoia. Other Kenyans now are asking, If you want our votes, the way you treated the people of Olokalao, we want you to connect electricity to every household. We want you to connect water to every household. We want you to give us a tank in every household. We want you to tarmac our roads. We want you to gravel our roads. We want a mattress for every home. We want shoes. We want gas cylinders. The people of Kenya are demanding things that Ruto cannot do, including his own place, the Kalenjin nation. They are demanding. They are saying, look here, we saw what you did in Olokalao. When you come here to ask for a vote, we want similar treatment. So these characters set up William Ruto before the rest of Kenya. So he is very mad. Okay. So he is not picking their phones. So they are trying to sell him fear, saying we are going to make a major political announcement so that he can call them because he may fear they want to defect to come to us. So they are simply trying to sell him fear. But William Ruto, in his own inadequacies, in his own naiveness, he knows these fellows are finished. That he knows. And he used to be told they are finished. Okay. Ichungwa would urge him, no, give us a chance. Please, let's do Empower program. We'll change things. We can divide this mountain 50-50. We can do 30-20. But after all Kalau, William Ruto has come to the conclusion, this is spent capital. These are liabilities. They are fellows he cannot depend on. These are people who are just after his money. These are people who have lost favor with the people. He actually doesn't need them. He has to know what to do.
You still haven't answered my question. Yeah. Who's reaching out to you?
No, most of them. Most of them. I don't want to mention these characters. They are not worth my mention. They are finished. They
are just people, spent a whole minute talking about them.
I don't want to go into them because actually I must tell you and allow me. I don't want to sound arrogant. They are actually irritants to the people of the mountain. They are irritants. By me mentioning them, I irritate the people because they are people for their own stomachs who have turned against their own people. Like what had happened in Olokalao. These characters you see here, they are the ones who brought goons to kill their own people. The women rep for Nyandarua, she brought goons to kill people who elected her twice. The MPs here brought people to kill their own people. They brought goons to rape women who elected them. These are people don't want to see. Even mentioning them irritates the population.
Okay, allow me to proceed. And of course, we still haven't substantiated some of those things. But are you willing to accept them into your fold? The political transfer season is fast approaching.
Yes. I've said everybody is welcome to DCP. Gather or scatter none. But I have a challenge with the population. When I said that yesterday, the day on Monday, the kind of messages I've received from Wananchi, I'm shocked. People are saying no. Those are people who have joined William Ruto to persecute us. These are people who sent goons to destroy our businesses. These are people who passed the finance bill. These are people who removed our leader from office whom we had elected and who used to defend the community. These are people who are just interested in their stomachs. Okay. These are people who cheer William Ruto when he is abusing the community, calling us tribal. We don't want them. But I leave the decision to the people because myself, I am a unifying factor. Even thieves from the community are my people. Even witch doctors, they are my people. Even pickpockets, they are my people. Even traitors are my people. Because now, when you are a leader in a bus, it's full of everybody, pickpockets, this and that. I am a leader of all these characters. I'm also a leader of very many good people. 98%, I have 2% of traitors and betrayers, thieves, witches, and all that. But they are all my people. But the decision of giving leadership belongs to the people. I have no say. I cannot say they will be elected.
So the people will decide.
The people will decide. Yeah? The people will decide.
Now, there's a section of Ruto's allies who are now back to the drawing board, of course, rethinking the political strategy following all Kalau.
We will take the board away.
It's been a wake-up call, I'll say that. So I'd like your reaction on some of the statements that have been made in reaction to all Kalau. Politicians from other regions urging that there should be redirection of development funds to areas that have shown loyalty and support to Ruto's administration, adding that there's no need to convince someone who's already made up their mind. Briefly, your reaction to that, because you've been an insider.
Well,
Ruto has championed equity.
Juliet Mohammed saying These people are given goodies, they refuse. Mr. President, give us those goodies. We have told him, take those goodies. The people of the mountain don't want goodies. These are hardworking people who are industrious. They want economic empowerment. They want good prices for tea and coffee and milk. They want good business environment.
Okay.
They want security for their businesses. They will be able to buy the goodies for themselves. People will buy their own shoes. People will buy their own gas cylinder. As to development, there is nothing to take away from the mountain. There is nothing going on. There is nothing. All the roads have stalled. Businesses are not working. SHA is not working. These people of ODM who are saying redirect development, there is nothing in the mountain. There is nothing to redirect. But the people have made a decision. They don't want anything to do with William Ruto and his people. I'm sorry if the people of ODM are feeling offended. That's the mountain people for you. For many years, you tried to ask them to support you. They didn't because they are that way. They are people who are very principled. They make independent decisions.
Okay.
They elect leaders if they think they are good people. If they decide you are not good, they reject you, and they don't know how to hide. They are not pretentious. You know, they don't want to cheat William Ruto. Even that things they took from him, it is because there is a Kikuyu saying that you don't allow an elephant to die with the tusks. You remove them.
And we've heard you saying that.
Yeah, you remove the tusks. They just decided because this money is stolen, there is no harm in stealing it from William Ruto. Because he has conned people, there is no harm in conning him. But we have told them now that it's over, go back to your farms and be nice people and be truthful. And I've actually told them this money is too stained with the Gen Z blood. It's stolen money from sick people in Kenyatta National Hospital. The mattresses that were given there are for sick people. I've asked my people, much as we don't want the elephant to die with the tusks, don't take it anymore. Let's close the shop. Let's William Ruto take these goodies elsewhere. Let us struggle for the next 1 year. We'll elect our own government that is accountable, that will bring good governance, that will inspire economic growth, will respect human rights, and will not send goons to kill people.
I'd like to.
People.
Okay, let's push the conversation forward. I'm sure you're aware of the comments made by Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Geoffrey Ruku, who's been calling for a split between Mount Kenya East and West. And of course, it's not the first time politicians are trying to split political blocks to serve their shifting national electoral interests. Let's hear from the horse's mouth on the sentiments he shared not too long ago.
Hiyo kura inapigwa leo orokarao. We don't care about the results. Hiyo kura inapigwa leo orokarao ni ya wao watu ya Mount Kenya West. Wapige vile wanataka kupiga. The result of Orokarao, we will not interfere with our decision. Kama Mount Kenya East kusupport William Ruto 2027, kuhakikisha kwamba kura zetu zote kutoka Tonyere kufika Sagana kwenda Isiolo kwenda Masinga yote itakuwa kwa kikapu moja ya Mheshimiwa William Ruto.
Okay, it's just a short bite from what he said. Of course, it's quite lengthy, but I'd like your reaction on this because you're heading to Meru and Embu for a political tour. Are you trying to counter what he's trying to...
No, that is not Ruto speaking. That is William Ruto speaking. That is William Ruto's scheme. William Ruto is scared of a united mountain. Because as I told you, with this 50+1 provision, when this mountain is united against you, you have no chance of becoming president. So his scheme is to divide the mountain. This is one of the characters he uses to try to divide the mountain, but it's a waste of time. It's like dividing the mountain is like cutting the fig tree, the Mugumo tree with a laser. It cannot happen, it cannot work. He has been trying to use Kimani Ichung'wa, another of his mouthpiece, to remove Kiambu from the mountain. The people have refused, you know? And William Ruto is doing, and that's why I was happy with Kindiki. At least for once, he said the mountain is one. I was quite pleased because I know the danger of dividing this mountain. But it will not happen. And it doesn't matter what Ruto does. It doesn't matter whom he uses. What William Ruto is doing is what Moi used to do. It's a Moi script. Moi ruled us for 4 years through division.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and rule, and we learned our lessons. Since 2002, we have never been divided and will never be divided.
Okay.
I'm not going to Meru because of this. I'm going to Meru, one, that is the land of my mother. I've not been home for a while, and normally you don't stay for too long away from your parents and your siblings and your cousins and your people. Number two, I am on a job to continue consolidating my base. My base is the mountain, Nairobi, and the Ma. I continue continuously. I have not been to Meru for a while, I think 3 months. So after the conclave in Wamonyoro, I felt that it is important that I go home, touch base, and see my uncles, my aunties, and also talk to the people of Meru. This is not an issue. It is something that cannot work. Moi did it. We suffered. We learned. And it's something we have agreed as Meru, as Embu, as Kikuyu. It will never happen. It's an exercise in futility.
Let's speak about your political conclave, sir. 36 days, if I'm not wrong, into that 45-day political retreat and consultation drive. Yes. It seems we brought you to Nairobi before you finished it. So let's talk about the progress made. You've met various delegations. Yeah. What have you gathered? Because you had mentioned you'll get the pointers and then have a sit down with former President Uhuru Kenyatta and chart the way forward. What have you gathered so far? Is there white smoke?
Thank you very much. You brought me out of Wamonyoro. Also, I had to rush to Olkalau to go and say thank you after the by-election, because I come from a people who have gratitude. I am also going to bury the 2 young people who were killed by Ruto's police. And also I had to do some church function on Sunday. I am still talking to people. I'm still listening. And we have not reached a conclusion. And a lot of issues have arisen.
Case in point?
I don't know. Many opinions, many suggestions, caution.
Talk to us. Give us something, sir.
In fact,
You're being evasive.
In fact, the 45 days I had wanted are not enough. I need to open space, and I'll have to extend, because the Kalenjin people want to talk to me. The Kipsigis came. We had a very enriching conversation.
We saw that.
I have 13 members of County Assembly from Baringo who are coming next week. I have the Talai elders from the Nandi. They are coming to see me. I have some people from Northern Kenya who are coming to see me. I had thought I would take 45 days, but the conversation has become very big. It has gone beyond the mountain. I have had discussions with the Ma. The people from Western want to talk to me. So I had thought I could conclude this matter in 45 days, but from the way it is looking, I need to add maybe another 10, 12 days so that I can complete the conversation. I indicated that I will reach out to my elder brother, President Uhuru Kenyatta. One, by his stature, he's a senior leader from our region and in this country. He's a nationalist, he's a statesman. And major decisions that I may make, I may need his counsel. I was his personal assistant for a long time. True. And we enjoyed a very good relationship until William Ruto came between us. And when I disagreed with Ruto, I looked for him to make peace, because we were very tight before Ruto came between us. So when Ruto left my life, I went back to my brother. So I value his wisdom, I value his experience, I value his patriotism, and he's a senior elder. So I have told him that after I talk to everybody else, I want to compare notes with him and say, Your Excellency, I've been talking, this is what I've been told, this is what I've been told, I'm thinking this way, what do you think?
So you're in talking terms with Uhuru Kenyatta?
We are in good terms.
Who raided his Northlands farm?
I don't know. You should ask the people who are in charge. I was not in charge of security. You had Kimani Ichung'wah threatening to attack those farms. 10 days later, they were attacked. I've had people trying to develop nonsensical narrative. Kimani Ichung'wah threatened that the farms of Uhuru will be attacked. 10 days later, they were attacked. Do you need rocket science to know who organized that attack? Somebody says, Rogers, you KTN, if you are not careful, we shall raid KTN. 4 days later, KTN is raided. You don't need, even a standard 4 child would know who organized that attack.
But ignorance is no defense.
No,
you were in government when it happened.
I am saying. Number two, let me also tell you, from the security architecture of this country, nobody can touch a retired president without the full authority, concurrence of the sitting president. When his guards were withdrawn, it is William Ruto who authorized.
Not you.
I have no such authority. If a retired president is almost at the same level with the president, even his treatment is higher. So there is nothing that could be done against President Uhuru Kenyatta attacking his farms, withdrawing his bodyguards, withdrawing the bodyguards of his mother, without the express authority of President Ruto. President Ruto and Kimani Ichung'wa are like this. Kimani Ichung'wa said the farms will be attacked. 10 days later, they were attacked. Where does Gachagua come in?
You were silent, you know. At times, silence is consent.
If a retired president has been attacked, and you are aware that he cannot be attacked without the express authority of your boss, what do you do? I had not started calling out William Ruto at that time. I started calling him out later when he became excessive. Those days I was just a bit submissive, hoping things can get better.
Okay.
He was having too many excesses. I would try to correct him in private, but he would not listen. It reached a point I started correcting him. But anybody telling you, Rogers, that anybody can interfere with the affairs of a retired president without the full authority of the sitting president is lying to you.
Okay, back to the views you've collected so far. You chose not to tell us, yeah?
Let me continue collecting. Allow me not to divulge because I'll be putting the cart before the horse. Let me continue listening, and so that when I complete, I'll call the press and say, this is it.
Okay, let's speak matters united opposition. And I'll start with some of the perceptions that are out there before we get to the progress made in terms of singling out a presidential candidate. There's a perception that perhaps you're aiming to be a kingmaker with the aim of having a large stake in the next government if you're fortunate enough after the general election. Clear the air. Do you have intentions of being in the executive? And if you don't get that presidential ticket, Bwana Rigathi Gachagua, are you willing to be a running mate?
To start with, I think those are perceptions and narratives by our competitors. They would like me to be a kingmaker to make them king. I am king. Why should I be a kingmaker? I should be king. I have the experience. I have been deputy president, just a few meters from being president. I have numbers that can make me president. I have the capacity to mobilize numbers to be president. I can mobilize resources that are required to mount a very serious presidential campaign. And I want to be president. And I have every intention to convince my colleagues that I'm the most suited to carry the flag. I and my team have demonstrated capacity to protect the win if we win. We have demonstrated that capacity because Kenyans also want somebody who can win and protect the win. I have that capacity.
Okay.
However, it's the desire of the people of Kenya that William Ruto is one term. It is the desire of the people of Kenya that it is easier if we have one single presidential candidate. And Kenyans want us to unite and choose one presidential candidate. I am of the school of thought, and I've persuaded my colleagues that you can only remove Ruto from office through political mobilization and marshalling enough numbers to remove him from office. Knowing Kenyan political space and the voting pattern, and the way votes are mobilized, I have asked my colleagues that we do what we need to do. Each person strengthens his political party and mobilizes his backyard so that we have enough numbers to remove William Ruto from office. Those numbers cannot be mobilized on a table or on a theoretical framework. Hard work must be done. I work very hard, and Kenyans know. I am a very serious presidential candidate, and I'm very determined to help the people of Kenya to get rid of William Ruto, because to a large extent, I bear the greatest responsibility of putting me in office, me and my people. And hence, since there is a problem in the country, I owe it to the people of Kenya to even play a greater role to get rid of him and have a good government. I am hopeful that I will be able to persuade my colleagues to allow me to fly the flag. If I am not successful in that quest, and my colleagues persuade me otherwise, that for us to remove William Ruto, I need to give way to somebody else, I will do so willingly and conditionally, and my supporters and I will support that person to a man.
So you don't mind being the deputy presidential candidate or even a junior role?
I don't even have to be anything. Today, Rogers, I am nobody. I don't have a salary. I don't have security. I occupy no position in this country. But I influence things. I make things happen in this country. I'm the point of reference in all matters. Everybody answers me daily. I don't have to be anybody to influence change of government for the better. I am a man who is willing to sacrifice anything to bring good change and good governance in this country. I am willing to sacrifice anything, including my presidential ambition, to make sure William Ruto is one term. I am willing to support anybody to first prove to William Ruto that I'm not tribal, because when I supported him, he was not Kikuyu, he was Kalenjin, and I supported him. I can't support somebody else. I am willing and ready with my supporters to support anybody else to be president. And I mean it from the depth of my heart. But that does not mean that I have no right also to want to carry the flag. Many Kenyans want me to carry the flag. They say they want somebody who can get rid of William Ruto. William Ruto is not a walk in the park. Some serious work needs to be done. And people are persuaded that they also need somebody who knows him well. That's how I beat him with my boys in Olkalau, because we know him. He cannot play around with us because we made him who he is. You know, my friend, when you build a house, if you want to demolish it, you are the best person to demolish it, because you know where you put steel, where you put less cement. Okay. A builder is the best. If you want to demolish a house, the first person you should call is the one who built it. He will demolish it for you very fast. In case you don't get him, you look at us. They may struggle because they don't know where there is a strong beam, where there's a strong column, where they put a lot of vibration. But we are the ones who made William Ruto president. Okay. And we know how he became president. We know his weaknesses. We know where we can be able to corner him. I think I'm the best person, but I am open. I am game with my colleagues, whatever we agree. But I want to assure you, from my end, I have total commitment to the identification of a single presidential candidate. It's one of the discussions that is going on in Wamanyoro. It's very heated. It's very heated, that discussion. If they are saying it's you, yes, it must be you. I say, okay, what if it's not me? Who we are discussing?
Who are they saying if it's not you?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the discussion. It's going on.
Okay. You're on record saying that you'll be signing a public pact as the United Opposition Principles with the people of Kenya committing to support whoever will be picked.
That was my proposal. I believe my colleagues will agree, because I have asked them many times. I have made public pronouncement to say, I regard Gachagua as presidential candidate. If it's not me, I'll support somebody else. I asked my colleagues when we were at Bungoma also to pronounce themselves, so that also you don't put your supporters in a corner. You know, if you say it is you and it's you and it's you, if it is not you, there could be some complication
and a fallout.
Yes. So what I have done myself, because I'm so genuine and I'm so desirous that we have one presidential candidate, because of the urgency of removing William Ruto from office, because he's bad for the country. The country is getting finished. The country has been taken over by goons and rogue police officers. So what I have done, I have prepared my supporters, who are in millions, for the eventuality that there is a possibility it is not me, so that if we agree we support somebody else, I carry them along. I am tonight once more asking my colleagues that they must continuously pronounce themselves before their supporters, the way I do. And I'm happy I had Kalonzo also having that narrative. We must continue preparing our narratives, that this is a national duty. It's beyond you as a person. It's a sacrifice for the country. For this country to stand, William Ruto must go. For him to go easily, we must have one presidential candidate, not two. Since it is critical, because that is what Kenyans want, it is incumbent upon all the candidates to continue preparing their supporters of the eventuality that it could be them or not them. I think it's not too much to ask.
Your take on the Linda Mwananchi faction, and as I ask this, just today, Dr. Fred Matiang'i was hosting a section of leaders from Linda Mwananchi, and optics in politics plays a very big part. Nothing happens by chance. So did you know of this meeting? Give us your take on Linda Mwananchi.
Yeah, I was told about it. It's a good meeting.
No.
I think continuous engagement among people who are like-minded is very healthy. Linda Mwananchi is a good outfit. I have tremendous respect for those young people. And by the way, I'm one serious leader who believes in our young people. If you look the guys around me, they are all young. I lead. I am a very genuine leader. When I say I'm mentoring young people, I do it. If you look at Olkalau, I never went to Olkalau myself to campaign.
Why is that?
I left it to the young people. You know, I've been mentoring young leaders within my region because I don't want a situation where we could be where President Uhuru Kenyatta left us. President Uhuru Kenyatta did a lot for this country, and we respect him for the work he did for this country. But in his politics, in our region, there was one gap. He did not mentor anybody. By the time he was leaving office, he was taking us to Raila Odinga because we didn't have anybody. I have decided consciously, in consultation with the elders, to prepare the leaders of tomorrow. And if you see why I've succeeded, why DCP is so strong, why we had such a strong showing in Olkalau, regarding Gachagua, the DCP party leader, is surrounded by young, energetic leaders. I feel youthful myself because of the youthfulness around me. In Olkalau, I made a conscious decision. I said I've been mentoring some young people. I want to test whether they have come of age. I want to see whether this mentorship program of mine has worked. I asked Senator John Methu, 35-year-old, and Chikomoya, please lead the campaign and get your colleagues. Jerry Minor, 29, 30, Karungo Thangwa, 41, young people. And I'm to date. Among the things I'm celebrating in this win of Garau is a success of my mentorship program, that the leaders I'm mentoring have come of age. In fact, I was under a lot of pressure from the community that Kalau was very important because of the dignity of our community, that if something went wrong, they would be very offended. And they were finding me a bit irresponsible, in fact, reckless, that I had left it to that 35-year-old man to drive such an important exercise. And many people urged me to move to Kalau and take charge. But I had confidence that for the last 2 years, I've mentored men and women, young ones, and they have come of age. Okay. And I didn't want to know.
Okay.
And I told my people, go and deliver. In fact, when William Ruto put too much money and brought the train, they almost chickened out and said, oh, boss, this thing is too important for us. Ruto has put too much money. We have 7 ministers. Please come and help us. I said, no. You guys, I want to see whether you have come of age. This thing, drive it to the end. They reached a point, they panic. In fact, I drove all the way to Nyahururu. They convinced me to go and take over the campaign. They were panicking because of the goodies, because of the money. I went to Nyahururu. And then I changed. I went in a small vehicle. I changed. I went round. I listened. I called them. I said, continue. There's no problem. Today, I want to tell the people, you know, there are people who have been saying, oh, the mountain will not have a presidential candidate, or Rigathi Gachagua can be locked out by the courts. In fact, most members of parliament from the mountain, Akina Faith Getawa and others, they have gone to William Ruto saying, please interfere with the courts and make sure Rigathi Gachagua is barred from ever running, because if he runs, he'll finish us. See what you can do with the court and make sure he is barred from ever running, so that if he doesn't run, the mountain doesn't have a presidential candidate, then it's easier for us to get elected. I have very bad news for you. You people who have been pressurizing William Ruto to interfere with the courts and make sure that I'm not a candidate and the mountain has no candidate, I have very bad news for you. I have young men and women who have come of age. In the unfortunate event that William Ruto interferes with the court process and I'm barred from ever running, I have men and women ready to run. So me and the community will agree, pick one, and I can tell them, those young people I have are more lethal than Kindiki. In fact, a contest between one of my people, the ones I have, they would have a better showing than I as a presidential candidate, because one, they are youthful, they have a lot of energy, and also the country is craving for youthful leadership. So those who have been going to Ruto crying to him that he can use his influence and money to corrupt the courts so that I'm locked out, so that the mountain will never have a candidate for president, for deputy president, I have bad news for you. After my team, because there, all my young people, 18 of them were there. From among them, in case they succeed, and they say, I cannot, we have men and women, competent, capable, articulate, energetic to be president or deputy president for that matter. And I'm a very happy leader that my mentorship, my community will never be exposed again. That even if today anything happened to me, even if today anything happened to me, I've established successfully a clear leadership structure that the community will never get convinced. If I'm not there, pick so and so, move on.
All right, so you seem to think they're tested, tried, and trusted.
Those guys are good. My team there, I can consult the community, pick one of them to presidential candidate, he'll beat William Ruto in the morning.
Since you're so enthusiastic about youthful leadership, there's some who are saying that Edwin Sifuna, the Nairobi senator, is putting the cart before the horse. Masayake Bado. No. There are others who are saying he's proved himself.
I'm telling Edwin Sifuna not to listen to that nonsense. He's above 18. The Kenyan constitution says anybody above 18 can be president. Edwin Sifuna, please pursue your dream. All dreams are valid. In fact, that is one young man, if given the opportunity, I would also like to mentor. Among my guys, I'm telling you, Rogers, let's be honest.
Would you support a Sifuna ticket?
Why not?
Okay.
I am a kind of a person who is so genuine. You know, Kenyans say Rigiji is a truthful man. I am one leader who is not threatened by youthful people. The kind of method, Karongo, Jerry, the people I have mentored, not many leaders would agree. They would feel threatened. Leaving that campaign to my young leaders to take credit shows that Rigathi Gachagua does not feel threatened by young people. And I will never steal for growth of young leadership. I want to encourage Edwin Sifuna, Akina John Metho, Jane Njeri, Karungo Thangwa, Cleophas Marara, Babu Owino, all these youthful people. Please, the time is now. Let people not tell you that you are leaders of tomorrow. No, don't listen to that nonsense. The time is now. I look forward to sitting with Edwin Sifuna and listen to him. I've sat with Babu, I've listened to those young people. I've sat with people that I work closely with. I believe that the greatest resource for our country is our youthful population. We have got good leaders. They have no history of corruption. They are not tainted. They are not tribal. They have no beef with anybody. They are not vengeful. What a resource for this country.
Then why caution?
We are not short of options.
Why would you caution the governor of Murang'a?
No,
Tell him
no.
not
The governor of Murang'a would have fallen into a government scheme without knowing. The chairman of IBC had threatened to cancel the by-election if there is violence. I am a consumer of intelligence. I was deputy president. I was also a civil servant for the longest. I have serious network within government. Actually, I have more information than William Ruto most time. William Ruto is too busy doing business deals. He doesn't know what's going on in the country. I had information that William Ruto had told Ethicon to try to cancel that by-election because it was not going well. That is why he issued a press conference saying, if there is violence, I'll cancel this election. They had planned violence that weekend. So when Kangata said he'll go to Olkalau, one, we had not invited him, but there's nothing wrong with him coming. I actually sent him a message through the Senator Joe Nyoto. I said, tell Kangata, that place is very complicated, and there are issues that he wouldn't know. For now, let him keep off. Let it remain a local affair. Because even I and the party leader have not gone to campaign for my candidate because I know what is happening. Please let him not go. Okay? So he was told, he said, okay. Then we had he still continuing. I sent him again. I said, tell him that it will not augur well if he goes there. There will be violence. Because you know these people have been attacking Leader Mwananchi. So they wanted to attack Leader Mwananchi in Olkalau. Then there is reaction, from the public. Then there are chaos. Then they cancel the by-election. And we didn't want it cancelled because we were winning.
Okay.
Then they also wanted to abduct John Metho. So I also told him to lessen his movement. Even myself, they wanted I go there, they attack me. I lessened my movement. So we outwitted the government through a lot of adverse intelligence. So when my younger brother, Kangata, did not respond positively, and he decided to go ahead, I had to admonish him publicly for him to stop. And he did well, but he decided to go to Nyahururu. You saw what happened? So I am somebody, people of Kenya know, if Ricky G tells you your wife is pregnant, please buy diapers.
Okay.
If Ricky G tells you don't go to Olkalau, there will be violence,
right.
Please don't go.
Okay, Ricky G,
when
let's move
Ricky
on.
G tells tourists, for now, please wait a little bit for us to fix things, you listen to me. I'm a very responsible leader and I have too much information. I am a walking box of information. Kenyans give me a lot of information. I have very loyal police officers.
Okay.
I have loyal intelligence officers who love this country and who see me as a protector of this country, and they give me information to forestall bad things that can happen in this country.
Naturally, out of curiosity, I'd ask who your intelligence intel comes from, but as a
Many.
I know you don't mention your sources.
75% of the National Intelligence Service is with me. 90% of the National Police Service is with me. The entire civil service is with me. You know, because they are very unhappy. Let me tell you, they are very unhappy about the raiding of the payslip. Let me tell you, the civil service, the private sector, all payslip holders are supporters of Rigi, because I am of the school of thought that the first thing we do on assuming office is to restore the dignity of the payslip, you as included. Yeah? So many people in government tell me what is happening. When Mukomen had decided to wreak havoc in the mountain during the memorial of the Jubilee, of the Gen Z protest on 25, they told me what is happening. Even when he sent people to withdraw 200 million to fund violence in the mountain and Nairobi, it is people within the government who told me. And I was able to forestall that. And I want to ask public servants who have been talking to me to continue doing so. As I have done, I have always protected my sources. I am very careful. I am a smooth operator. I've been around for a while.
The last conversation we had, I tried pressing you. You didn't
operator.
mention. Yes.
I'm able to get information from government people without exposing them.
All right.
I have created enough mechanisms for people to reach me without coming to me directly, without people bagging phones. I have created all those systems because I am government. I am a working government operative. I've been government for too long. I understand government more than William Ruto. I know what is government, and I've invested heavily on networks, on information. And that's why I'm ahead of William Ruto all the time.
Okay, Gachagua, I'd like us to talk about removing Ruto, what next? But before we get there, is there white smoke in identifying a presidential candidate? What exactly is the mechanism that you favor? We've heard of a scientific approach. Others are pushing for Kenyans to decide. As a matter of fact, we hear that there's a portal opened in terms of choosing your preferred presidential candidate from the united opposition. What's your preferred criteria when you sit at that table eventually to decide who'll be facing off against President William Ruto?
Well, to start with, I'm not part of that portal. I don't know anything about it. Nobody has talked to me about it. Number two, in my view, there's no hurry. In my view, President Mwai Kibaki, the third president of this great republic, the greatest leader of our time, the man who transformed this country and dignified all of us, was identified and announced as a single presidential candidate for the opposition on 14th October 2002, when the elections were scheduled for 27th December the same year. So 2 months, 13 days apart. We have a year to go.
I'm sure you had Justin Muturi.
No,
is it cowardice?
No. Here's his view.
Okay.
You know, people have different perspectives. From where he sits, he thinks we need to do it now. From where I sit, I don't think so. I think we need to take time so that we build synergy, we build trust, and most important, we mobilize numbers. Naming a presidential candidate before you mobilize numbers is an exercise in futility. It's shooting yourself in the foot. How do you go to war before you put your soldiers into place? You must have the general. You cannot just pick the general without having the company and the platoons and the fireman and the 2IC. You must prepare the army. So in my view, the army to remove William Ruto are the numbers. So in my view, and what I have done on my part, is to mobilize my numbers. I have done so successfully in the mountain, and the mountain is complete. I have done so in Nairobi, it's complete. I have done like 70% in the Maa Nation. I'm working on it. That is what I consider to be the block that I have quite a bit of say.
So,
the sway, yeah? I would expect my colleagues to also consolidate their numbers. I have sent word to Sifuna. I have sent word to Eugene Wamalo. I have sent word to George Natebea, my former colleague in the administration, to Cleophas Malala, to put the act together and consolidate the Western region, where Ruto is making a lot of forays. They must consolidate that region. Kalonzo, to a great extent, has mobilized the Ukambani to send the coast. Matiang'i, the same, Kisii. Yeah. I am also mobilizing the agencies and the payslip holders. Once the process of consolidation is complete, in my view.
When is that?
In my view, later in the year. Later in the year.
Okay.
Then we can sit down and say, hey, good people, Rigiji, give us a report. I've mobilized this and this. I can talk of so many millions. Mother, what have you done, this and this? Eugene, fanya tukubaliane. Then we agree on the mechanism. On my case, I have done the mobilization. But the people I lead are not told where to go by anybody. They are the ones who decide where to go, and the leaders follow. That's why I'm in Wamanyoro. I'm also listening, so that when I go to this conversation, probably later in the year or early January, I have mandate from the people that I lead, because I don't have an opinion of my own. I lead people who are very independent-minded. And if you find President Uhuru Kenyatta understood those people a bit late, when he tried to tell them, let's follow this direction, they say no, because he had not consulted them. I want to do things differently. I am a very consultative leader. The slogan for my party is Sikiza wa Kenya.
All right.
I am listening.
Okay.
And I have picked a lot of things. In fact, many things I thought I would have done, I would do them differently because I have been told.
All right.
No, don't go in that direction. Apo? No. Don't go that way. This is a good path. Follow this path. This one, no. You know, in my view, I cannot enter that discussion with anybody until I conclude consultations with my support base and I get clear mandate, direction, and instructions. When I get, if my colleagues are ready for us to engage, I'll engage. But telling you I can engage tomorrow, I'll be cheating you. I don't have the mandate. I have not consulted extensively and sufficiently to enable me make an informed decision that has clear mandate from the people. You know, my brother, you may go there and endorse something. You come back to the people, they say that's your decision. You must carry the people along with you.
Okay.
And that's what I'm doing.
Interesting. Before we sample some of the questions that are being forwarded, and by the way, the hashtag to use is Rigathi on KTN, I'd like us to talk about if you succeed to remove Ruto, then what? And we'll focus on the key sectors of the economy, perhaps starting with education. I'd like your reaction to the government's plan to roll out the fully funded tertiary education. We heard from President William Ruto that that move will scrap the 2023 income-based higher education funding model, which had faced widespread criticism, including from yourself. Did they finally get it right this time round? They've shifted the burden from the parents to the government. Is this a step in the right direction?
When we successfully remove William Ruto from power next year, and it will happen, by the way, I've been in many successions. This is the easiest.
Voters will decide, yes.
This is the easiest. From where I sit. The voters will decide, but we are players, and we talk to these voters. We know them, we understand them. The first thing is to fix the social sectors. The first thing we must do is to restore security in this country. Because even if you fix everything else, an insecure population cannot be productive. The first thing is to restore the security of this country. One, will restore the independence of the National Police Service. We'll have radical surgery to weed out all the rogue police officers who have created hell to the people of Kenya. They will be weeded out. Those who have committed crimes against the people of Kenya will be prosecuted. Those who have been complacent as Kenyans are being maimed will be retired. We'll inject new energy and new leadership with the National Police Service. Number two, and most important, we will dismantle all criminal gangs and wind and incapacitate all goons in the Republic of Kenya so that Kenyans are free and feel safe. Their lives are safe, their properties are safe. That is one. Number two, we must take care of the educational sector. Education is the greatest equalizer. Our constitution guarantees the right to education to every child. What Mwai Kibaki did to this country is one of his greatest legacy. We must restore fully free primary education by giving the right amount on time. As we speak, the education is free on paper, but not practically. Money for capitation is never released on time. And sometimes it's not released at all. Secondary school principals are living in fear because of auctioneers. They have pending bills of debts incurred by the institutions they have not been paid. So we will restore free primary education and free day secondary education because it's important. Once we do that, we'll work on the university financing model by having consultations and public participation with all the stakeholders, the lecturers, the tutors, the parents, and the students. The things that William Ruto is promising, those are lies. There is no budgetary provision. And you know,
I know that it's a bill in parliament.
No, there's nothing. You know, you don't promise things that are not budgeted. Yeah? Even if the bill passes in parliament, where will the money come from? Unless you'll have to do supplementary budget. Already we are in deficit. You know, we are borrowing money even to do development. We are borrowing money even to pay salaries. We fix education. Again, we have to look at the curriculum. Yeah? What is happening, there's a lot of confusion. Yeah? There's a lot of confusion. The parents, the teachers, the students who don't understand what is happening. we'll have to fix the health sector. We had a working NHIS system. William Ruto came, put it aside, and brought an animal called SHA, whose very intention was an avenue for corruption. That system was brought at a cost of 104 billion shillings, and it's not working. Even in Olkalau, it has been switched off to punish the people of Olkalau because of the way they voted. We don't want that, where people can be punished because of exercising their democratic right. We must, through consulting health providers, both the public sector and the private sector, the medics, the nurses, the clinical officers, the owners of private hospitals, the faith-based hospitals by the Catholic Church, by PCA and all others, we consult everybody so that we come up with a workable health intervention for the people of Kenya. Once we do that, we must restore the dignity of the payslip. This housing thing is unwanted by people of Kenya. There was no public participation. People do not think it's work of government to build houses.
But it was in your manifestos.
The work of houses, the work of government is to provide services, connect electricity, provide water, build roads, sewage and drainage. It was there in the manifesto, but we thought it will be a voluntary exercise, those who want. But it's compulsory. Even yourself, you are taxed, and I don't know whether you need the house. So we are going to scrap the housing levy, and the houses that have already been constructed, if I am president, I'll allocate them to our police officers across the country so that they can live in dignity.
What about the people who've contributed?
The ones who have contributed, we'll see. There are many that are in the process. Those ones, because the election is next year, once they are complete, those ones we don't have to give them to anybody. Those ones we'll allocate them to our police officers and other people who are serving government. The extra ones we'll give them to the county governments to list them out and create revenue for the county government.
So back to my question. I'd asked about that proposed tertiary universal funding bill.
I am saying I have not interrogated that bill myself. I'll ask my members to share with me. Okay. I must be very honest because I like being truthful. I have not had a look at it. Okay. But now that you have brought it up, I'm going to have a look at it so that I interrogate it. And when we meet next time, I can give you my opinion.
Briefly, let's talk about the independence of the three arms of government. Just today, Law Society of Kenya were boycotting the courts due to issues they've raised around accountability. Ideally, judges should be beyond reproach. You've mentioned that Parliament has been captured. How do we fix this state capture of other arms of government?
We must free the three arms of government to work independently.
How?
They'll be by allowing them, giving them budget and allowing them to function. And that's why we are looking for very good legislators. My party wants quality. I don't want what we are having today. You know, what in my community are calling tugege. We don't want that. People who have no mind of their own, people who are just after their stomach. The 13th Parliament is an embarrassment to this country. The Speaker himself is a youth winger for UDA. Even the courts have stopped him from being a youth winger. He's still insisting. You know, the Speaker of the National Assembly is supposed to moderate debate by not taking sides. This one is a youth winger. And I told him when we met in a funeral in Olkalau, yes, we want a parliament with good legislators who can make good laws, who can do proper representation, and who can do oversight. We want an independent judiciary. I don't want to prejudice my own case, but Kenyans were shocked that a court of law can say under Article 50, the right to fair hearing, that somebody did not get fair hearing, and then go ahead and say, the decision that came out of a process that is not constitutional stands. This is constitutional absurdity. I don't want to go into it because it's the Court of Appeal. But these are some of the things that have really shocked the people of Kenya. Yeah. We have seen many cases where High Court has issued conservatory orders stopping government from certain things that are constitutional. And then the Court of Appeals lifts these orders and allows the government to continue. So there are many concerns, and I think the boycott that is going on is a good thing, so that the judges, all the way from Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, they can know Kenyans are not happy, and they can know that Kenyans are looking at them.
But some have questioned the approach of the boycott. It will be infringing on the rights of those who need to seek access to justice.
If the courts have impunity, what do you do? Sometimes it's just like this thing I talked about tourists. Ordinarily, that is not the right way to do. But if the government is the one causing insecurity, you have no other intervention, you go to the next available alternative. But I think the lawyers have made their case today. The judges know they are under scrutiny. And they'll weigh themselves before they become unfair, before they are compromised by the state to give rulings in favor of the state or against certain people. I think the awareness that has been created by this boycott is good enough.
Fair enough. It's 4 years to the end of Vision 2030. Just recently, President William Ruto highlighted his aim to make Kenya a first world country. And of course, this plan transcends whichever government is in power. Their pillars: agricultural transformation, manufacturing, value addition. But interestingly, the biggest challenge is governance and fiscal sustainability, coupled with youth unemployment. How do you tackle those three issues?
To start with, William Ruto is just mocking Kenyans, that he can make Kenya a first world country. How do you make Kenya a first world country when goons are all over the country? When rogue police officers are killing Kenyans? Who would be interested in investing in a country like that one that has become like Haiti? Who would be interested in investing in a country where corruption is the order of the day, where public assets are being sold without public participation, where, pending bills have not been paid for the last 4 years? I mean, really, he's just joking around with the people of Kenya. It's like this Singapore nonsense he had brought, and then he stopped it when people started laughing at him. I told people to laugh at him in meetings when he mentioned Singapore, because it's a joke. It's a serious joke. Youth unemployment is a serious challenge. And I agree with you that some people have taken advantage of the frustration of the youth to lull them into crime through goonism, and it's unfortunate. We need to be very deliberate on how to deal with the youth implosion, the youth unemployment challenge, by agreeing that we must do import substitution. We must encourage investors to come and open factories here so that they can absorb our young people into employment and also start paying taxes and enhance the tax base. We must encourage agro-processing and value addition. We must create those opportunities. We must look for ways of financial inclusion so that we have affordable credit for our young people to start small businesses. These are things that we must do, and we must be very deliberate about it, because we cannot get a white-collar job for everybody, much as we want to encourage manufacturing and starting of agro-processing plants for value addition and all. We must also look at financial inclusion, where we can train our young people in how to start small businesses, and then they can also absorb their colleagues in those businesses.
Now, allow me to, because we're pressed of time,
yes.
Wanarigiji, it would be improper to finish this conversation without sampling some of the feedback we've got, which is quite a lot. I'll try to pick one or two. I'll rush you through your answers, if you don't mind, due to time. I think I'll start with a question raised. Ask him if he can mend fences with Ruto to make peace. Are you willing to work with President William Ruto now or in the near future?
I don't know what he means by making peace, because Kenya is a democracy. I don't think not having competition is making peace. I'm willing to compete with William Ruto for democracy. The peace that we need in Kenya is the elimination of goons and police. That is the peace that we need. I don't think democracy and healthy competition is a lack of peace. I think democracy is healthy.
Someone is asking about this post that was previously held by Isaac Mwaura. Is it one of the casualties for Mount Kenya following the loss of the Olkalau by-election?
Well, probably yes. Probably because the ODM characters are saying the people of the mountain should be sacked. Probably, I don't know.
So it's
punishment, I don't
promotion?
know. I'm not sure. But he also wasn't much. He wasn't doing much, and he wouldn't do much anyway, because Ruto is the one who speaks on every topic. Even the one who has come will not do much.
There's a touchy issue right here. kindly ask Gachagua about the disappearance of analyst Mwenda Mbijiwe during a joint campaign rally with President Ruto in Meru. You and Ruto himself said that Mwenda would be released once he took power. What happened to that promise?
Yeah, it's true. We made that commitment because we believed that the fourth administration was responsible for his abduction. So when we came in, we followed that matter, and he was not traced. He's among the people who disappeared. Unfortunately, even before we could trace the disappearance of Mwenda, William Ruto allowed the DCI and NIS to start also abducting people, and people started disappearing.
So is Mwenda Mbijiwe dead or alive?
I am not sure.
Okay.
I tried to follow up personally because it's a commitment I gave to the people in Meru, and I gave up. By the time I left, I didn't have an answer. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Say hi to Rigi G. Please ask him to speak for teachers and expose the Ruto government. I think that's one of the questions. The case of Albert Ojwang pains more when seen than heard. Lastly, we need a bill to strengthen devolution in our wards and counties by introducing, reviewing, and making ward fund functional. Comments on that?
Our teachers are in trouble. Their pay slips have been raided. There's a lot of tribalism in TSC. The new TSC secretary comes from Ruto's community. She's just employing people from his community and promoting people from his community to the exclusion of other teachers. There is a scheme to interfere with the SACCOs where teachers have put their savings. William Ruto has raided NSSF. He is planning to raid SACCOs to get that money for budgeted corruption for infrastructural development. The teachers must say no. And I want to commend teachers in our cloud. Most of them were recruited as presiding officers and were being approached to be given some money to compromise the election. And they say they cannot because they cannot take 20,000 as a bribe, yet their pay slips are raided daily. I have every hope that our teachers will join us in creating change for this country because they are serious stakeholders. They are people who play a very great role in the development of our human resource and human capital. And we must continuously speak for them. I spoke for them when SHA was not working because their union leaders had been compromised by William Ruto. I spoke very strongly that they were getting a road deal and something was done. And I'm told things are much better. I always speak for our teachers because I respect teachers because I am a product of good education. And teachers are very important people.
Indeed, we can't argue with that. We haven't talked about fight against corruption, which is a sore issue in this country. Till date, we have independent agencies mandated to fight this monster called graft. Yet it's a drop in the ocean in terms of their efforts. So in 30 seconds, are you the man to fight?
Corruption can only be fought in this country from the top. Only when we have a president who is not interested in corruption can corruption end. Once the president is in corruption, it follows downwards. William Ruto has made State House a den of corruption. To start with, he bribes people openly. I heard Kindiki saying people should not be bribed and government people should not bribe people. He is the one doing it daily. William Ruto bribes teachers, he bribes churches, he bribes everybody. Corruption is in State House. All deals are done in State House. The SHA thing, 104 billion by William Ruto. E-citizen corruption. In fact, why, if Kenyan failed to remove William Ruto from this office, as head of this country, he'll ruin this country, he'll finish it completely. He's the most corrupt president ever since independence. And I am saying, from where I sit, the only way to fight corruption in this country is to get a president who will not partake corruption so that his measures can permeate downwards. But if the president is in it, the president today, he is head of procurement. He's the one who procures all government jobs. He's the one who decides who brings rice, who brings sugar, himself, who gets this contract, who gets that contract. And it has gone. In fact, what is happening now, his people around him, especially his tribesmen, they are saying it's injury time. They can see Ruto may not come back, so they are stealing left, right, and center, plundering everything. This country is on its deathbed.
Well, I know.
Unless we wake up early on the 10th of August. Vote and protect our votes and bring a new government. If this government, in the unfortunate and unlikely event, they find their way back, there will be no country.
Mr. Gachagua, I know a fish starts to rot at the head, but strengthening these independent institutions would perhaps be...
There must be political goodwill. There must be a president who doesn't want to get involved in corruption. That is a president who will empower EACC. He'll empower DCI. He'll empower everybody else. And things will flow. Like Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki never got involved in corruption. And that's how we got very serious economic growth in this country. We must learn from President Mwai Kibaki and be like him, you know?
But I remember there was a golden bag scandal during his time. Till date, we haven't seen. I know he wasn't
golden
involved,
bag was during Moi's time.
Oh, before, yeah.
There was treason, but Mwai Kibaki moved in. He sacrificed all ministers. Even people who were very close to him.
All right,
they had to go.
We've come to the end of this conversation.
Thank you very much.
We've canvassed most things. I hope you'll make time for us next time.
Yeah, sure.
And of course, as members of the Fourth Estate, we'll be taking some of your sentiments, fact-checking them in order to ensure that...
Please do, and we want to thank you for bringing out very courageously the challenges Kenyans are facing. You've been very consistent in calling out goonism. You've been very consistent in calling out corruption. You have been very consistent in calling out impunity. No wonder you are being attacked by Ruto himself. I want to encourage you that you have a duty to this country, and don't be sold fear. And history will judge you kindly for what you are doing. I want to encourage you and your colleagues, please continue standing in for the people of Kenya, because if you don't, this country will get finished.
Well,
I want to encourage you.
the reason why we're called the Fourth Estate. We'll persevere on, and not just as Standard Group, but the entire fraternity as media. Thank you so much for your time. We're hoping to other fruitful discussions. That's all we had for you. Hope you're adequately informed. My name is Jesse Rogers. Till next time, good evening.
Thank you.